broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes, there it is. That is for Scheana, because this is the bridal episode. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, we are so excited. Welcome to another Vanderpump Rules episode. It's season 3, episode 15, for better or for worse. And we have a very special guest with us today, if you can't already see right now. So throughout this episode, definitely hashtag Pump Rules and tweet us any questions you have for Miss Kristen. Anyways, I'm your host, Kristina Zias. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias. And we have a really fun show with some great ladies, so introduce yourselves, please.
I'm your special guest host.
Oh, yes.
It's my first time, don't kill me. It's Kristen Doute, at Kristen Doute, D-O-U-T, on Twitter and Instagram.
Girl, you can call yourself whatever you want. We're just glad you're here.
I'm your ghost host.
I'm Christy Olson. Tweet me at Christy Reports.
And I'm Fern Ronay. You can find me at Fern Ronay on Twitter.
All right.
Okay. I feel like this episode we've been waiting for because Scheana's been talking about her wedding the entire season. So finally, dun, da, da, da,
Since last season.
Since last season, totally, right?
It's her wedding, it's fair.
So we start off and you see Lisa and Scheana having this powwow, which is funny because a year ago, that's where Scheana got engaged. Mm-hmm. And this whole time, I have to say, I was thinking about this. I'm like, it's kind of like weird, their relationship. And I don't know if you guys feel like this too.
Scheana's?
Yeah, Lisa and Scheana's. Like, I understand like that Scheana is really good friends with Pandora, maybe best friends. I don't know. But I kind of get like, flash forward to Housewives, kind of why Brandi is pissed at Lisa and why it might be like a little bit of a conflict of interest for the SUR staff when she is like giving Scheana 300 bottles of champagne and like hosting rehearsal dinners for her and like upgrading her to suites at her bachelorette party. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about the relationship?
I'm kind of like on both sides of the fence with it because when Lisa is very generous. I mean, when Stassi had her birthday party in Cabo, you know, she helped out with that, and she's generous in ways like that. And if someone has like a birthday party there, and she's very like cool about trying to help out and giving discounts or bottles or what she can do.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
then at the same time, on the other side of the fence, I think it's kind of funny because up until this season or this past summer, Lisa was very publicly Team Stassi and not Team Scheana until Stassi sort of started backing away from the show and being a little more opinionated, and it didn't ruffle Lisa's feathers in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So suddenly it was like Scheana was her favorite, and Scheana, I got you. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that's how, I don't know. That's where I'm at.
So do you agree with Stassi that Lisa is just cool with whoever will kind of go along with what she says?
I do. I'm probably standing alone on that one, but I applauded her in that moment because even though, you know, I'm kind of like the biatch when it comes to Lisa, I feel like I'm the only one that's ever kind of stood my ground, even though I've probably been a little disrespectful, maybe a little too rude, because with Lisa, it's difficult with being my boss at SUR, or when she was, and then also being on the show and kind of being a little personal with us. It's just a really weird dynamic and trying not to cross that very thin line. Mm-hmm.
Because she's your executive producer as well, right?
And But she also probably is like your friend at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, she wants to make a good show, and she does want to know personal things, and she does get a little involved, but you also have to always keep in mind that she is kind of an authoritative figure, and for lack of a better word, I guess an elder. It's like, you know, she is my friend's mom, and it's just a really strange dynamic to not cross that line.
It seems like she always has her lap dogs. Like, she always has her favorite friends, her favorite kid, you know, of the group.
Yeah.
Were you ever her favorite?
Never, ever since day one.
No?
Not at all.
I
No.
feel like
Even
you
before the
always
show?
say she hated you.
I do feel that way.
You
I
worked
do.
for her
Why?
before the show, right? Obviously. So.
Yeah, I
7
did.
years, right?
Yeah, way before the show. And honestly, the first couple of years that I worked at SUR, she didn't even know my name. She used to call me
Wow.
girl, and that's when I was really, really good friends with Pandora. And it wasn't until right around just before the show that she would even really pay attention to me or kind of acknowledge that I was like a
Right.
presence there. And so, yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And you know, with all due respect to Lisa, because I am very, very grateful for not only SUR, but the show and all the opportunities and the platforms, because at the end of the day, without her, we would not have a single thing. Very truly. But yeah, I just have an issue with it because I don't bow down to people that think they're holier than thou. And I have issues with cast members that have kind of developed these holier than thou egos. Like, be humble and know your roots. I'm sorry, you weren't always rich and famous. That's how I feel.
Love
Ain't
that.
that some truth?
Snap, snap, snap.
Nah.
There goes my shoulder.
All right. So we see Scheana and Lisa talking like they're best friends. And as much as I feel like the situation is a little bit awkward, I think it's really sweet to hear Scheana talk about Shay. Because I mean, we've had them both on the show several times. I see them around the neighborhood, and I think they are a really great couple. And I feel for Scheana because she's had obviously a lot of bad press with her past relationships. So it's nice to see her happy and kind of like get that happily ever after.
Yeah.
And she does seem to really love Shay, and Shay's awesome.
He
Shay
seems like
really
such a
loves
good
her.
guy.
She's a really good guy.
He really loves her, right? And Lisa says something in the episode too, or I don't know if it was Lisa, but someone says like, I guess Scheana just really wants to be that princess for
Lisa
someone.
said that,
She
yeah.
said it, right? And it's true.
Yeah.
Well, you and Scheana are the only ones that have decent men in your lives. Would you agree?
I agree. I definitely agree.
So what do you think about at the rehearsal dinner about Tom taking James aside, because Tom hated James this entire season and probably since the second you guys started dating. And you guys had that nice conversation in Miami, and all of a sudden he doesn't hate James anymore, but kind of hates you more.
Yeah.
It's hard to phrase it like that, but that's the truth.
Let's start with, how did you feel about being left out of the rehearsal dinner? Was that sort of one of the first events that you weren't allowed to go to because you were fired?
Because Lisa said I wasn't allowed in any social settings at SUR, and obviously I had an option to just show up anyway, but
Ooh, I kind of wish you
I
would
know,
have taken
and a lot
it.
of people think so, but it's like, I think I've quote unquote ruined enough of Scheana's parties than to just show up, and it's like, it's a rehearsal dinner, I'll get over it. I got a lot of slack on social media because I said it really bothered me that Tom chose that day to ambush James when I wasn't around there, to stick up not only for myself, but stick up for James. And sorry, but that's why Tom did it, because he knows damn well that if I were there, that conversation wouldn't have gone down the way that it would have. Like, I think Tom's probably afraid of me. Like, I wouldn't have let him kind of corner James like that. But then everyone's like, well, you ambushed Tom with the Miami girl. Like, whatever. I feel bad for James sometimes. Like, everyone has to kind of stop and remember he is like 10 years younger than the rest of us. And it's his first time in this little rodeo of Vanderpump Rules and filming and even really being friends with a lot of these people. So I just thought it was really unfair. Tom's had a lot of other opportunities if he wanted to have said conversation.
Yeah.
And if Tom thinks I'm so obsessed with his relationship, why are you meddling in mine?
So if you were there, what would have you said?
I don't think he would have done it at all.
No?
Do you think he would have done it if there was no Anne-Marie ambush? Miami girl ambush?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
What do you think of his whole reaction to the Anne Marie ambush?
Tom's? Or
Yeah,
James? Oh,
Tom's.
I mean, I think he's guilty as charged. I have
Obviously.
no doubt in my mind. I think this whole, like, she could have had a gun, she could have shanked me. Like, come on, really?
Right, because
I
you
mean,
could have
I-
just gone and got security at the same
yeah,
time.
and it's like, not only would this just not happen at all, but number two, like, let's be honest, we are filming a television show, and you don't think the producers have spoken to this girl? You really think she has a gun? Like,
Right.
give
And
me
she's
a
really going to
break.
shoot him on national
Give me a
television.
break.
Right.
It's just an excuse. I think the bottom line, from what I'm getting in social media, and even I've kind of said this since that episode, the only thing I'll give to Scheana is not in hindsight, obviously it's been a while, that it's not really about whether or not Tom did it. It's kind of like, why was it my business to get involved? So I can kind of, you know, see that because I'm over it now. But he's guilty. I'm sorry.
And when you're being called a liar, and he called Anne Marie a slew of very degrading names,
and everyone's like,
understandable.
well, we never called you a liar. I'm like, no, you guys said I set it up. You said I flew her here, and it was like all in my hands. Like I talked to the girl like 2 or 3 times prior to that in my life, and I haven't talked to her since.
Well, I like seeing the conversation with Tom and James at the rehearsal dinner because James obviously had your back.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
It was really cute. And we really like James.
He's
he does a great job on the season. Like, kind of everyone seems like a jerk except him. So good for him. And you wouldn't know that he's 10 years younger. Yeah. He seems a lot more mature. But he really totally questioned Tom. Was like, well, he obviously was like, well, did you sleep with her too? And I mean, no, he's heard your side of it. He was with the guys at the dinner table in Miami, hearing all of them talk about it too. So it was nice to see him question Tom as well. And then tell him, like, no, I'm going to tell Kristen everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, you just wait till after the wedding.
Which
James
is ridiculous.
Like,
Why would you have to
I
wait till after the wedding?
Everything.
Right.
He probably went home that day and told you, right? Didn't even wait
he probably texted you
until the
from the
lunch the
bathroom.
next day?
Yeah.
He texted me from the bathroom very briefly, and then, obviously at lunch the next day kind of spilled everything. But he was just like, hey, just so you know, I have to tell you. We tell each other everything. I know it looks to a lot of people, it's like I'm such an ass, and I know it was really hard for James, and especially I'll say kind of a thing from the reunion, like I publicly apologized to him on behalf of kind of the way everyone felt and the audience. It's just like, James knows that I'm sorry, and especially watching it back, how hard that must have been for him the whole summer.
Do you watch together?
But we do. The only thing we did not watch together was the scene in Miami with Tom.
Is it awkward?
You just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I just said I don't want to watch it with you. Watch it on your own time, kind of digest it, and then we can talk about it. But obviously, you're probably not going to feel good about it.
Did he have things he brought up to you then after watching it?
I mean, he knew everything that was said. It was nothing. I've never hid anything from him, and I know it's not like it makes it any better because I'm like, well, he knows, but he really has known since the day we started dating. Like, this is what I have to offer you. Like,
The
this
entire
is where
situation.
I'm at.
Yeah.
So what exactly did you apologize to him about? Like, what are you sorry for?
Oh my God, watching it back is what I'm like, what am I not sorry for? But really, it was watching it back, just like, you can tell, like, I did still have feelings. It wasn't that I wanted to be with Tom. It was just like, I wasn't over the breakup, and I wasn't over him being with Ariana, and I wasn't over being like butthurt about all of that.
And 6 years together, you didn't work with them.
Right. And we were only broken up for 6 months when we started when we started filming the show. Right. So
That's like yesterday, yeah.
And
it just wasn't a lot of time.
How quickly did he get with Ariana after you guys broke up?
The day that we actually broke up, he was with her the night before, and that was kind of the thing that
that
was
the
like
catalyst.
right before Thanksgiving. Yeah, like he didn't come home that night, and then the next morning he was lying about where he was the night before. Said he stayed at Scheana's house, and I'm like, okay, well, you didn't, because you left a photo strip of you and Ariana on the living room floor. And with your phone, I saw your Uber receipt that you were at her house. So, like, be honest about everything. So then he finally was honest-ish about at least being with
That's
her
about as
that
much as you can
night.
expect from him, right?
Yeah, and then he was just like, I don't want to be with you anymore, and that was it. And then we lived together for maybe another 4 to 6 weeks, whatever, until I moved out.
So the whole thing with Anne Marie, was it just more, and I mean, James says this a little bit, but he kind of says that, you're just always called a liar and like get blamed for stuff, and it's not fair that everyone gets away free. And we kind of saw this a lot with Jax. Like, somehow Jax is best friends with everyone, and you kind of get a hard time.
Yeah, and I get, as far as, what Tom's done or what Schwartz has done or whatever Ariana's done, I get that what Jax and I did is like tenfold, like 10 times worse, not only because of who we were with or we used to be with at the time, but it also affected, it was just such a tight group that it affected everyone. So I can see how that is still and was a lot bigger of a deal, maybe. But at the same time, like, it doesn't mean that I wasn't hurt any less than you were hurt or than you were hurt. Like, It was still really hard, and like, that hurt me. So why am I the one? That was kind of my whole thing. It wasn't like, I'm like, oh, I'm this big victim, like, big deal, what I did, no big deal. You guys are all liars. I'm just like, I get that what I did hurt a lot more people, but you still hurt me and you still hurt your girlfriend, and like, why is this still being focused on me when everyone is all best friends with Jax?
Yeah, absolutely.
They gave him like 2 weeks of shunning, and then they were like back on the Jax boat. Like, I don't understand it.
I kind of feel like they just expect Jax to do things. Like, he gets away with everything.
I know, and I'm so sick of this like recent like, well, he's not malicious. He doesn't mean it. He has a big heart. He's not vindictive. I'm like, then what is it? Like,
Oh, that's a good
funny,
point,
'cause
girl.
I asked my friend before, I'm like, do you have any questions for Kristen? And she had only one. Why does everyone sleep with Jax?
oh, I can't even. With,
You know answer?
I've like Men in Blacked myself with that one. Like, erased my own memory. Like, I can't.
Why do you think everybody else does? He just is a...
I mean, everyone that he dates. I mean, because the way Jax, he's like very like charming to these girls. Like, the second day he's with them, it's like, I want to marry you, and I want you to have my babies, and blah, 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 blah. And then he's like doing the same thing to like 10 other girls.
Right.
Well, we kind of saw that with Carmen, who you're really good friends with, right?
Yeah, she's one of my best friends, yeah.
So how did you think, like, how do you think about his relationship with her, especially watching this, knowing that he's kind of dating her, knowing that he's kind of dating Tiffany, and that he ends up going to the wedding with Carmen?
I mean, he didn't go with Carmen.
Okay, I mean, he said, I know, but okay, fine. The way we see it as a viewer, every single time it's like them walking in together. So, like,
They did not
technically,
go together, though. They
it seemed
didn't.
like they went together.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It was portrayed that way because they sat next to each other, but she did go with a friend of ours.
Okay.
I mean, everyone with Scheana's wedding, and I think Scheana explained it a lot. Like, she invited, I think, 300 maybe plus people, so no one was allowed a plus one.
Okay.
And she also did not want to be like, "Hi, nice to meet you" at my wedding. You know what I mean? Which I totally understand. Pandora did the exact same thing. So Carmen was invited on her own. Jax was invited. I was invited. James was invited. Another friend of ours who Carmen did ride with was invited. I mean, clearly, this thing with her and Jax, it's just, I don't know. It's.
Do you advise her to stop seeing him? Like, when you're sitting chatting with his girlfriends?
I always advise her to stop seeing him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a girl's going to do what a girl is going to do. And I'm there to support her. It's not my place to tell her what to do. You
And
know?
you're friendly with Jax anyways, right?
I'm nice
When it's convenient?
to Jax when Jax is around Carmen.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to be an ass to him when he's in company. I mean, I've tried that once. It doesn't go over very well. So I just I just tolerate him. But no, I don't think he's a good person at all.
See, this is why I wish I was at that wedding. Because I feel like the dynamic with everyone, like, it's just hilarious watching it because there's you and James, and then there's Jax and Carmen, and there's Vale, who I still honestly, like, I like her, but I just don't get how she fits in. And then there's Lisa and Ken, and then, like, it's awkward with you and Lisa. It's just the whole thing's amazing. And then Scheana's in the janitor's closet, and we all of a sudden don't know how any of this happened.
I know.
So,
that was crazy.
Okay, let's talk about the wedding. You were there.
Yes.
We were all really excited to see it.
It was beautiful.
Your dress was fantastic.
Yeah, you looked great.
You looked gorgeous.
You did.
What did you guys all think about Scheana's dress? So it was her aunt made it, correct?
Aunt D.
Which is really incredible.
Yeah.
And what I found really interesting, and I was reading some stories online too. So she says she spent almost $100,000 on the wedding, right?
Yeah, I
Which honestly scares the crap out of me because I mean, it looked like a beautiful wedding. The venue looked gorgeous. She looked beautiful. It was great, but like
I think she
the
was
wedding
careful to
coordinator.
say it was $100,000 wedding. Not that she spent $100,000
Because she did say
on
her
it. I think
budget
she
was 30,
careful.
right?
Yeah, but then
Maybe
she's
that.
3 times that. Yeah, but I'm saying like what there equates to $100,000. Like to me, that's terrifying as someone who wants to get married. Like what you
and
get.
knowing
You
how
don't
much she
have to
did get
spend
for
that.
free, kind of.
Yeah,
Lisa helped
totally.
her out with the alcohol.
Lisa-
I know.
right, which is
Dylan's
huge.
Candy bar kind of helped.
Oh, they helped her out
yeah.
too. Oh yeah, that's right. We did see that. The wedding coordinator, which to me was the funniest part of the episode, because it kind of shows you like some things you can't cheap out on, like,
Right.
and that is one of them. And I really felt for Scheana because everything seemed to be going so smooth, and I loved the fact that like she kept saying, "I'm zen," like I'm zen, because I can see how that is such a stressful day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden went from like 0 to 100 real quick.
Did you hear her freaking out about the singer? Or
No,
could you
I
not?
didn't.
Okay, 'cause
No,
nobody
we were
heard
all
that.
sitting, down.
Did you wonder if she was going to come out?
Yeah,
when
what was the
when
feeling?
Tina started singing, and then because I was aware what was that when Tina starts singing, that's when we stand up. That's Scheana's cue. You know, they weren't doing the typical "Here Comes the Bride." That was her song, and I even knew the moment of like holding hands, all of that, and and then she didn't, and I know watching it, and Lisa was like, I wonder if she's going to come out. It's like, well, of course she's going to come out. Like, she's stoked. This is the best day of her life.
After all that.
But no idea what was going on. And it was like 105 plus degrees. And,
it was in the summer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was in like end of July. And so we're all just kind of standing like,
melting.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, no.
No idea why. And then Tina starts the song over, and there it is. Okay, cool. Yeah,
well, explain to all of our viewers why Tina was singing in French and what she was singing.
Yes. So Tina was singing Fool's Rush In, which is obviously the song that Scheana and Shay wanted to walk down the aisle to, but because of copyright infringement, that's why she had to sing it in French.
Crazy, right?
That's a little tidbit, people.
Yeah, they'll never sing Happy Birthday.
Right.
If you notice, we just go Happy Birthday, and then you just kind of leave it.
So if she wasn't on a reality show, she would have gotten the song.
She would have done the traditional march, I'm guessing.
Well, or maybe just done it in English or whatever.
Right.
But I know that is the song she wanted to walk down the aisle to.
That wasn't about, I mean, you could recognize
it.
Yeah,
she was very like strategic
on
every part of her wedding.
It was really beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
And her and Tina are really good friends too, right? Tina used to work at SIR too.
Yeah, and Gabby, who works at SIR and at Wilwonka, was playing the piano. And then James was like working the music. That's why he wasn't sitting by me.
Oh, that's what it was. I kind of wondered. Okay. You know, when you guys were walking in, he said, hold my hand, damn it, or something. Like he really had to prod you to hold his hand. It was maybe just a VO from something else. I wondered. I thought, why would you not want to hold his hand walking in?
Did it give you ideas for your wedding?
Oh, God, I don't even know.
Well, Kristina asked what you thought of Scheana's bridal gown. Would you wear something like that?
I would not. That's not my thing, but that is so Scheana. And it was a gorgeous... She looks stunning. I mean, like, she looks stunning. Definitely not something I would wear. It's just not my style, but that's her style. So
she pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she did. She looked really beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved
and
it.
It's sweet that it was made by her aunt.
And I feel like only she can pull this off, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
if I tried walking down the aisle in a crop top, like, people would be, my mom, first of all, would be like, turn around right now. Right. You're going home. But she looked beautiful.
And it was very tasteful. She was showing very little skin. There wasn't a lot of cleavage.
It's just her style. That's what Scheana wears. Scheana wears high-waisted and crop tops, and that's her thing, and that's what she wanted, and it's her wedding, so...
She gets what she wants.
Yeah, and it's like, who cares what anyone else thinks? It's your wedding.
Okay,
Exactly.
I have to bring this up because this is one part of the episode where I was kind of like, to me, I'm like calling BS, okay? So Scheana made this gift for Shay, but she left it at home.
Yes, she actually did. That is not BS.
Really?
Okay, that's right.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh no, I had to. We had just left, so we weren't out of LA yet, but we had to like turn around because we weren't that far out, and clearly I'm basically the only one that knows her apartment and can figure out, what to happen. But I was there for a while. I was probably there for 30 minutes because the security guards had to come.
Oh, wow.
And they have like a key ring because she lives in a structure with a lot of buildings. And it was like a key ring this big with like 1 million keys on it, and they're going, okay, I think this is right.
oh my goodness.
And then I'm like on the phone with Scheana again, and I'm like, okay, where is it in your house? Like, what does it look like? She's like, I think it's in my bedroom. I think it's on my nightstand. It might be under my bed. I'm like, oh my God. It's a black box. I'm looking for a black box in your bedroom. Like, shit. And so, yeah. But
Okay, so it was really real?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy to
100%.
find this out because I honestly was like, this is all too
Oh,
convenient.
no, 100%. I mean, she probably called James and I both, I don't even know how many times.
To make sure you can get it.
Well, like before I actually spoke to her, because he was trying to get ready. I'm getting my stuff together, which is another thing I want to bring up because so many people are tweeting like, why did you get your makeup done? Like,
It was pre-planned that you would go and get your hair and
my
makeup
makeup
done, right?
artist was there, and Jesse, I had asked to do my hair. I was so late because then I do say like, so Scheana, who should do it? Because I was so late. They're
Because
on
you
a
were off
schedule.
doing a favor.
Well, then and I paid for my hair and makeup. But the bridesmaids are on a schedule. So if I have to sit back and wait, well, I'm not going to say like, oh, Alexis, my makeup artist, like I know I scheduled you at this time, but screw the bridesmaids, do mine first. No, I have plenty of time. They need to go get ready. Like, I'll just sit back and wait.
So then what did you think about Ariana saying that you just waltzed in there and expected to get your hair and makeup done?
And she's like so afraid of me I can't.
And just to
please.
have a reaction like that on someone's wedding day, what did you think about all
I mean,
that?
number one, she's completely overreacting. Like Scheana said, like, when am I going to shank her? Like, give me a break. You're not afraid of me. You're fine. You're fine. Like, you're literally just overreacting. And it was ridiculous. And then to do that to Scheana while she's getting ready as her bridesmaid and her best friend, stupid.
I did find it interesting, though, because she very rarely complains about you, right? I feel like with her and Tom, she is always...
Not to Scheana, maybe.
No, that she doesn't complain about you to Scheana, or she does.
No, I'm saying maybe not to Scheana she doesn't complain about me, but she and Tom certainly talk about me quite often, I feel like, this season.
But I find it interesting, to be honest, that Scheana is such good friends with you, but she's also best friends with Ariana, and obviously you and Ariana have a lot of issues. And I think it is an interesting and difficult dynamic to be friends with both of them. And she doesn't really give Scheana flack at all, at least not from what we see.
No, and neither did I, though. I've never given Scheana hell at all about Ariana. I don't talk to Scheana about Ariana. Like in Miami, I did a couple little like stupid digs that were just like funny, and obviously I was being totally facetious. Which was
You guys were all drunk.
It was just a whole other thing. Ariana did some interview, and she was like, I should have pressed charges when she was talking about champagne and knives and a cucumber. I'm like, I was being facetious. I was being sarcastic. Clearly, I'm not going to stab you. Calm down. I've never stabbed anyone. Not that far.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Tune in for season 4.
But it was, I mean, Scheana's friendship with Ariana just never concerned me. As long as, when Scheana and I were friends, as long as she was my friend, that's all I cared about. They were friends before I had a problem with Ariana. It just shouldn't be a thing, you know? And I know it was hard for Scheana, but watching the season, I felt really stupid because I felt like Scheana and I were really close and we were good, and then I see her just talking shit about me the whole season behind my back. And so it was just kind of like a...
So when you had the fight at SUR, were you like, I'm not going to go to the wedding? Or you were always planning to go?
No, we were always planning. I don't even know why she got involved in that, and I still stand by that. I feel like she was just getting involved for no reason.
Right.
I mean, maybe it wasn't my business to like be involved in Tom and Anne-Marie, but it certainly wasn't hers to be like, why didn't you tell me? Like, why would I tell you?
Right.
So you could blow the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of all agreed with you. Like, that seemed like she was making it all about her when it wasn't. But I do still think that it is probably really difficult to juggle these friendships. Yeah, and she does always say that you are a good friend to her.
Yeah, and I always and I always was. Always was. And then, yeah, like I said, so as far as I know, Ariana never gave her hell about being friends with me, I guess, except for what we're seeing now from the wedding on kind of a thing. And I've never talked badly about Ariana to Scheana. Which is weird. So, I would never allow one of my friends to talk badly about one of my other friends. I would just be like, save it for someone who cares. Like, it's awkward.
So the whole reason that I thought the whole like gift thing was set up is because it was such a big deal. But then we never saw any of the images from it.
Oh yeah, that is.
And I was kind of like, really hello, you made this whole sexy photo book.
I feel like
and we didn't see anything.
They didn't have time then. I'm guessing when she gives it to him, that's when we'll see it.
Wasn't it the whole thing she was supposed to give it to him before they walked down the aisle?
Oh, I would think something like that would be wedding night. I mean, is what I assume. I don't think she said that she intended. She did. I don't think she said that she intended to give it to him beforehand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that seems like a wedding night gift to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Did you look at it, Kristen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously she couldn't drive up there and not look at it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Well, if anyone has any photos from it, please tweet them because we want to see.
She's tweeted
them. Okay, I need to look. I'm gonna have to do some Insta stalking.
She's kind of in lingerie, like not all of the photos. I mean, they're all very like classy and tasteful. Yeah, there's nothing. There's like no nudies or anything. But she has tweeted some. I think in the past when she first did the photo shoot.
Yeah, we've seen some.
Like she's kind of on a bed, and they're very
like lace and stuff. Okay, I have to look back at them.
Did that make you want to do something like that for James?
Maybe we already have.
Oh. So if anyone has the pictures of Kristen, then that's what you need to tweet out. Perfect.
Well, you kind of very deliberately said there when Scheana and I were friends. And I think it's kind of common knowledge now that you guys are not really cool. What would you explain as the reason for that?
I mean, we were weird right before the wedding because of the whole Miami girl thing. And obviously the wedding went well until the preview for next week,
which we will get to. Don't you worry.
And from there on out, that was it.
Okay.
She blamed everything on me.
Oh no.
So that was
it. You and Trevor?
Yeah, that's not even
a thing.
No. It's just like it was like once again I like ruined, and it's like that's not what happened, and she now knows that, but it's really funny. we did have a scene that I know doesn't air at her house. It was right after she got back from her honeymoon, and I actually went into her house and we did talk, you know, about what happened at the reception, which again you'll see next week. But in this conversation, I went in just saying, like, I do love you and I do care about you, but you are not a good friend to me and I am done. And I walked out.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's really funny how Scheana is always tweeting and doing press saying, like, when they're like, well, who do you choose, Kristen or Ariana? And she's like, oh, you'll see. I'm like, girl, you didn't choose. Like, I walked away from you because, you know, like you were saying, I know it's really hard for her to be friends with both of us. And I've always understood that. And I can't even imagine being in a position like that. And I was always appreciative that she's, you know, kind of stood by me, sort of, now that I see she was talking badly about me, but I felt she was standing by me. So I did appreciate that, and I did appreciate what a difficult position it was to be in. But on the other side of it, it's just like, I don't know, she kept saying it's so hard to be your friend when my friends don't like you. When Tom and Ariana don't like me, it's really hard. But I'm like, why is it so convenient for them to talk badly about me to you? Mm-hmm. Going back to what I was saying, that like
you don't talk badly.
None of my friends, and I have friends who don't get along, but they would never come to me and say, like, Carmen wouldn't be like, oh, hey, Kristen, I don't like so-and-so, and then kind of badmouth her to me. It's just odd to me. So why do they feel so comfortable talking badly about me to you?
As if like she was bad-mouthing to the whole time.
Because I know she's going to agree with it, probably.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
It's like, if they're so comfortable with it, that's an issue for me.
Right.
Because clearly you're making that okay.
Right.
When, you know, I don't know.
And she should be friends with you based on who you are as a person, not be
having
who
nothing
you and who
to do.
like you.
Right, exactly. I mean, and let's be real. Your friend was cheating with my ex-boyfriend. So if we really want to go there, well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think
and
it
so
should have been kept
was
separate.
Just recently taped.
It was Friday, right?
Friday, yeah.
So
I heard it was crazy.
Yeah, can you tell us that?
Yeah, it was.
Did you and Scheana make up at the reunion?
I mean, I'm not. I don't
All
want
right,
to
we don't
give
wanna
away
get
the
in
whole.
trouble.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
I'll just
Don't
say.
do that.
I'll just say, yeah. There was no blood. There were no tears from me. There was a lot of sweat.
And you and James are still together.
We are.
And happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you had an interesting ally at the reunion in that you and Stassi were sort of a little cooler with each other than everyone would have assumed.
Yeah, I don't. We're cordial. We are cool. Yeah, we're not. We'll never be friends again. It's not.
You don't think?
Possible? No, you can't go back.
Yeah.
We'll never get back what we had. It's just not. It's just not even a thing. Like, it's just not possible. But yeah, we're cool. We're cordial. We talk occasionally. I've seen her like once or twice.
Did you go into the reunion with something in mind or someone in mind that you either wanted to bring up, to talk to, like kind of to attack?
Or something you wanted to address?
Yeah.
So who is the main person that you wanted to address?
Tom and Ariana.
Oh, I like that.
After seeing what they've said about you in some of these last episodes?
I addressed the two of them. Yeah.
And some of the
And
things
Jax.
you said
And I
about,
called Jax.
like
can't
you
wait.
said, I want to break them up. So people are automatically thinking she's still in love with Tom. So you probably wanted to explain yourself.
Yep.
Do you feel like you're understood after the reunion?
I mean, I feel good about it.
As long as they show
I said
everything
everything I had to say.
Right.
And it was very, very simple.
Good.
So.
Well, we've wondered a lot if Tom Schwartz and Katie are still together. Their Watch What Happens Live appearance and the fact that you and Tom went on Watch What Happens Live when you'd already broken up and had to play like you were still together. And so is there anything you can tell us about Tom and Katie's relationship?
I mean, as far as I know, they're still together. I am not friends with them. I don't talk to them really, but as far as I know, yeah.
As far as I know, they're definitely together because I've seen them twice in the past couple weeks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And they still have Gordo, who's a really cute dog.
Aw.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did you think about the chatter people saying on Twitter that she looked like she was maybe pregnant?
Yeah,
on
I
Watch
don't
What
get
Happens
that.
Live?
I don't
No?
get it. Because she wasn't wearing a tight dress because her hair was longer. Like, I don't know. I really don't.
You don't want to drop any news bombs on us?
I mean, it's not like she called me up and showed me like
No.
I don't know anything about that.
So then what happened with you and Katie? Because it kind of seemed like in Miami that maybe you guys were going to rekindle your friendship a little bit. And now all of a sudden it clearly seems like you are absolutely nowhere near friends.
Yeah, we actually had a talk in Miami that did not air. It wasn't really a resolution to anything. I think it was a little bit of closure. I cried a lot. We just kind of hashed things out. But it was cool, and it was calm, and it was cordial, and that was kind of it. And she basically just kind of wished me well and said, like, don't fear me. Like, I don't have any ill will toward you. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's just over. It's done. And that was it. And that was just really, that was kind of it. And then...
Did that make you sad?
Yeah, of course. Because there was never really, like, a falling out for Katie and I. Like, we did... I will say that it toward the end of our friendship, it was very... It was kind of volatile, and it was very toxic because of everything that I was going through with Tom. And I was just toxic in general to be around, and because I was so unhappy with him and with my own life, being with him and trying to stay with it. So I can understand that and appreciate it, but at the same time, and I think I said this a lot last season, it was like, well, Katie, you and Tom weren't great then either, and that's kind of what friends do. You kind of just stick by. And I know there's a breaking point for everyone, and I can also appreciate that. But I've never done anything to Katie personally, and I've never spoken a bad word about her, ever. And so, which is something else I kind of say at the reunion, and what I feel about watching this season, at least for me, I just think it's funny how she is able to, like, be, like, butt buddies with Scheana after Scheana literally spent the whole summer really bad-mouthing her. Like, straight up bad-mouthing her. I don't understand it.
Do you think Katie's relationship with Stassi kind of had a lot to do with how she treated you?
I do. I did think that. And she says that it doesn't. I definitely think that it was like a loyalty thing in the beginning, which I can also appreciate. But it was like my friendship with Katie and Stassi, it wasn't like the three of us all the time. It was like we each had our separate friendships between the three of us also. And Katie was the person I've been probably the closest to of any girlfriend other than girlfriends back home in my life. So it was really gnarly for me to kind of for that to end. But it's just, you can't force something that isn't there. And if that's where she's at in her life, then, it kind of is what it is. She knows how I feel. So
could you ever have imagined when you signed on to this reality show that it would break up your friendships like that?
No way.
And do you blame the reality show for?
No, I mean, everything happened. It magnifies it. It's hyper reality. Producers don't force you to make mistakes and sleep with people and badmouth your friends, and you have a choice. I mean, even when things are produced or a little manufactured, nothing's scripted. You always have a choice.
Right.
So.
What always gets me is those Frankenbites, where I can tell that a sentence is from 3 or 4 different interviews and 3 or 4 bites. Is there something that you've been made to say that really bothered you, that you're like, I didn't say that?
Well, you can just, I guess I pay close attention because I was there, but it's like when certain things get repeated over the course of certain episodes, and it's like with the whole in Miami after Tom and I had that conversation. And then the next second I'm going to take them down or whatever it is I say. I'm like, okay, clearly that had nothing to do. Who knows when I said that? I could have said that in the very beginning of the season. I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. See, I am so naive sometimes.
Juicy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we only have a couple minutes left, so I want to get to some questions that people asked on Twitter. Hirschman97, if you're listening, we're asking your tweet. Okay, Brenda really wants to know who you left the wedding party with.
Oh, Carmen picked me up.
So I think she was referring to that gentleman, Trevor.
Who's my Muay Thai trainer, who's one of Scheana's best friends.
Okay.
Which in the beginning of the season, you see Trevor and
or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's a friend of mine, but yeah, he was my Muay Thai trainer. He's one of Scheana, I think probably one of her best guy friends. And that is who I walked away. No.
And that's who you walked away
That's who I
from.
walked away with because James was getting a little drunk and out of hand. I was kind of like, I need to get away from the cameras and just like take a break. And Trevor saw that and he was just like, do you want to walk down there and like just take a breath? And then cameras followed, but Carmen actually picked me up and took me back to my hotel.
Okay. Did James flip out because he saw you walking away with him?
You'll see.
Stay tuned.
Well, referring to this week's episode, do you think that Tom got in James' head?
I think the whole summer got into James's head.
It's been building, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All season, I'm like, oh, James.
And I think probably the rehearsal dinner
we
too.
love him. Yeah.
Okay, so Sun Surf Sea Babe, I kind of like that Twitter name. She sounds like fun. Wants to know if you get embarrassed watching yourself on TV. Is it difficult?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes, absolutely. More last season than this season. I mean, I think I've been a lot more composed this season, other than screaming at Diana, which was like completely humiliating and terrible and awful. And
She's your friend, right?
I've like bowed down to her over that. Yeah. That was like really, really bad. But that was, it was like the wrong place at the wrong time. And she was yelling at us. And my whole thing in the moment when I was really yelling at her, I was like, we're here to film a show. It's not my fault. It's our, like, fuck you. F you.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So you've apologized to her since?
Oh,
right?
I apologized to her that day in the room.
Did.
It just didn't work out that way.
Well, what's your relationship with Lisa now?
I mean, it's still, I mean, we're not best friends, but I think the dust is settled not working for her. It makes it a lot better. So I only see her when I visit James when he's DJing.
So you are allowed to go?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Did you talk to Lisa at the wedding?
I did. So that would be next week.
Oh, okay.
We're going to see
I
it.
know. See, I'm going to trip up on that.
Yeah.
No, we want to get you in trouble.
we do. Yeah, we do have a conversation.
So I don't know if you guys watched What Happens Live last night, but Jax was on it, and it was a really great episode, and Patty was on it too. And I love this. So I kind of want to play this game that Andy played with them. And let's just say did he cheat or did he not? Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple people, and you say what you think. Did Jax cheat on Tiffany? And okay, done. Yes, for sure. I love that.
Anyone and everyone. Yes.
Yes. Okay. What about did Tom Schwartz sleep with the girl in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
What were the content of those text messages that you saw exactly?
I mean, I really don't even remember totally now, but it was something along the lines of like them confirming that Schwartz would only tell Katie they made out.
Okay.
It was kind of just like a cover-up type of a situation.
Was that for the show? Jax giving you his phone and all that? Was that all planned?
I mean,
storyline?
Maybe Jax planned it. I mean, he gladly handed me his phone with that text being right there. So, I mean, I didn't have any,
we thought he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he did, because then he gets out of like actually spilling his guts.
Right.
So he just puts it on me. Like, sorry,
Because you went through his phone?
Yeah. He handed me and it was right there. Like, of course I'm going to read it.
It's funny though, because we see him hand it to you, and then later on we see him also say like that you took it from him and decided to go through it. So you really can't believe that anything that Jax says is
You'll
what we've
see a
learned.
lot more of that over the next couple of episodes. Doing something and then
the opposite.
backpedaling like he always does.
You guys, I'm sad, but this episode kind of has to come to an end.
Wait a minute. I have one more question.
Good.
Burning question. We want to hear about your t-shirt line and your blog.
Yes.
Please.
Oh my God. Okay. So the blog, there's so much content. We're like on the edge of a name. So if any of you lovely fans have idea names for me, please throw them my way. It's a vegetarian blog. But it's fun, and it's not just like here are recipes, but it's also kind of like why I am that way and why I love and hate carbs and why it's just, I don't know, it's like a fun kind of food blog with vegetarian recipes and whatever. So, but I'm totally open to names because I want something kind of witty, punny, and not cheesy. And then, this t-shirt line, it's called James May, M-A-E. It's James May Co. on Twitter. Instagram, I really haven't kind of caught it up on yet. So we're almost there. We've had a couple of setbacks. I'm just very, very picky about every last detail, and I don't want to put something out that isn't perfect.
What do they look like?
So
It's graphic tees,
I
right?
should have brought some. Yeah, if you look on Twitter, there's a couple on there. Graphic tee. This was actually a blank something I might be using because we're kind of going with another one. But like tees, like muscle tees. Everything's kind of in this like typewriter font, quotes, some have graphics.
Oh, cool.
So we were about to put it out, and then I'm so meticulous that I just want to make sure it's perfect before it's ready to order.
So when
any
can we
idea
expect
when you'll hit
it?
stores?
I don't want to give a date this time because I already gave a date and it didn't happen.
Okay.
but
So stay tuned for that as well.
Stay tuned soon. Follow it on Twitter. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted.
We'll let you guys know when you can finally get
And then
Kristen's clothing line.
real quick, because you started the show focusing on your acting career, and we don't really see that much of it, but do you have any updates for us? Can we see you in any upcoming shows, films?
Yeah, so I shot a pilot last month in St. Louis for a network. It was a scripted comedy. It was really exciting. It was actually, kind of long story short, if you guys have seen that, something like Husbands of Hollywood, or like Kevin Hart, Nelly, whatever.
For sure.
So it's sort of like a 3-layer like that. So it's like filming behind the scenes of a reality show, filming a thing, and I get to play. I'm a crew member, which is like amazing.
You don't play a reality star?
A lesbian crew member.
Oh my God.
So awesome. So much fun. So we'll see where that goes.
Do you know the name of it?
I don't know if I want to say it yet. Okay. Yeah, because they're pitching.
So you're flexing your comedy chops there. You're not just a dramatic actress.
Right. It was really fun because I've only done one comedy before that. So that was really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have a little bit of time off before, if we get a season 4, it's kind of hard to act and do reality at the same time. So hopefully I'll be working on a few more projects in the next couple months.
Do you think Lisa will give you a hard time if there is a season 4 being on it since you're no longer working at SUR?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of see. I mean, I think that the ratings show that it works when I'm on the show, but I also know that I'm not necessarily a fan favorite all the time. So I don't know if we get the season and if I'm asked back, we'll kind of go from there.
Are there any potential ways that you could be? Has there any been discussed about how you would remain in the cast, not working there?
No, I mean, we really haven't talked at all about a season 4. I mean, obviously I'm dating James, and James works for the restaurant. He's also DJing at Pump and at SUR as a residency now.
Oh, cool.
So that ties me in.
Well, that works for me.
She's on.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't really know. No official word. I don't know.
Oh, well, we'll be waiting to hear.
I know, I'm excited. Okay, and next week's episode looks absolutely ridiculous. So real quick, everyone give your predictions. Fern?
Oh man, I just want to see it all go down in the parking lot, and I want to see how you eventually recover from it, because you're together now, despite those naughty things he called you. So I'm looking forward to the parking lot showdown, and then how it gets resolved.
I predict that everyone else on the cast is going to say a lot of really mean things about that situation with you and James. You know, we've seen all of them, relationships kind of explode and implode, and I feel like they're not going to be very forgiving to you guys.
I just predict violence.
Oh, no.
And I do, all around.
Me or...
Well, I think that you do.
The Muay Thai?
Yeah, right, exactly. You have a trainer there. It seems like you're maybe throwing a slap or two. James is verbally violent, so all around. And I just want to see how Scheana handles it, since it is at her wedding.
But did she even see it? But we'll see.
I guess we'll see. Do you have any predictions? Or any little tidbits?
What do you think's going to happen, Kristen?
Well, I think you guys are going to have to tune in next Monday at 9 on Bravo to find out.
Spoken like a true reality star.
You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely comment below and let us know if you have any other questions. We can ask Kristen in the future what you thought about this episode.
Give us 5 stars.
Yes. And we see a lot of hate going on, so give us some love, okay?
Hit that thumbs up button, people.
Yes, please. You guys, I'm Kristina Zias. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias.
Kristen Doute, your guest host at Kristen Doute on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, thank you again for coming. Everybody tweet me at Christy Reports and let me know how fabulous this was. Seriously.
And find me, Fern Ronay, on Twitter at Fern Ronay.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.